Hi, everybody.
We are live here with ProCare Health as our sponsor with Brenda and Brittany, and we're talking about habit changers today. And we're on our part two series, part two of our two-part series. It's on tools for transforming. So in our first part, we actually talked about how to identify, when you see a habit, because that's one of the best ways to be able to change it. And just basically went into looking at, what causes the habit. We'll post the link here in just a moment to the first part of this series in case you missed it. So you can go back and watch that later. So say hi if you're with us. It looks like we have a few people here on Crowdcast, and we're also should be streaming live on Facebook. So we'll see here if we're live on that. Brittany was going to check.
We are live.
Okay, wonderful. So, Lovey says hi from South Carolina. Wonderful. And I think we also have
Scotty's in here, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and post the link to the part one, too, that Brenda was talking about.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Brittany.
I'll mute myself so you guys don't hear me clicking away.
Okay, so we are gonna we have all kinds of fun stuff today to share, and we have I'm gonna use this call to action button on our, let's see, here we go. We have a call to action button if you're on Crowdcast, and it will show our handouts. But we'll also post the links to those as we kind of go along as well. The call to action button should be showing up here in just a moment. There we go. So if you're on Crowdcast, you'll have access to that. If you're on Facebook, we'll post the links to our support group handouts on there too as well here shortly. So we want to just welcome you, and we're going to just kind of start in right away, right off the bat, and start talking about some of these things, because we actually have 6 different ways, tools to transform habits. Okay? So let's start with the very first one. And so the very first thing we're going to be talking about, and let me go into our Ask a Question, so we can start answering that. How can we use affirmations for mindfulness and intention to create new habits? Okay, so we're going to go into that, and so it's all about practicing. We're not talking about perfection here, so not trying to put any kind of pressure on yourself. Practice some different things. See what works. Try different things in your everyday routines. Affirmations can be a powerful way to start. They are little auto suggestions that you give yourself. You can even use those with EFT to drill into your conscious mind. And we have an affirmations handout that I'm going to be pulling up, and we're going to be sharing some different affirmations and how those work. If you're not familiar with affirmations, they're really just a way to kind of change your mindset in the moment and feel better about the thoughts that you're having and what's going on in the moment, so that you can kind of change the momentum of your day, of basically just feeling a little better. Okay. And I want to talk about using them with EFT. So what is EFT and how can I use it with affirmations? So I have 2 different handouts. The first one is going to be the affirmations handout, which I'm going to be pulling up, and we'll share that. Again, we'll be sharing the link to. The second one is a tool on EFT, and we'll be sharing that right after we get done sharing the first. Okay, so let me pull up. I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I'm going to pull up the affirmations. And Brittany, you tell me whenever you see that pulled up.
I see it.
Okay.
And then for those of you that's on Facebook or in Crowdcast, I posted the very first handout is the affirmations, which is what we're looking at now. And then the tool for EFT is what we're going to be looking at next. And I went ahead and posted both of those.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so affirmations, what we're going to talk just a little bit. And I'm going to be reading just a little bit off this handout. I'm going to try to make it as big as I can here so that you can see this. They're little short phrases that help us be intentional and focus on changing some type of cognitive, meaning brain activity. And it could be a negative thought. It could be just a thought pattern that you're wanting to change. So the more conscious you become of your beliefs and how they affect your life, the more control you have on changing a habit. The words we choose are an expression of energy, and energy is information. So how we inform our bodies has a tremendous effect on our patterns and habits. So to be the most effective, use the affirmation in the present tense, meaning right now. Words like I am. So that means you're in that energy right in the moment. So make it specific to whatever you want your end result to be, and make it resonate positively with you. In other words, that's really important. Like if you're saying I am happy, but you're really not happy, you could say something to the effect as, I know it's possible that I become happy. I know it's possible that I feel better, instead of saying something that totally doesn't resonate with you. I hope that makes sense. Also, for example, if you don't believe that affirmation is possible, okay, I know I've done this before, and I trust that I know I can do it again, or I believe it's possible to do, fill in the blank. Does that make sense? I know, Brittany, you probably just put me on mute, but I'm hoping that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Those out there. So we're going to just kind of go over a few of these, and this handout will be available for you guys after this presentation to kind of test out some of these. So let's just talk about a couple on each of these categories. So on health, I am confident in my judgments and decisions I make. I understand that food fuels my body. I am true to myself. It's probably better just to use one affirmation at a time and instead of trying to do a bunch of them, and just kind of feeding your subconscious those thoughts as you're doing just one. The next one's affirmations on life. I am loved and lovable. I am protected in everything I do. I am supported in everything I do. Einstein once said that one of the best things you can do is to trust in the world, to trust that you're being taken care of, because everything comes down to trust, regardless of what's happening to you. The next one is on affirmations on finance and work. So the universe is friendly and I am supported in everything I do. I just said that. So that one fit in perfectly. Mm-hmm. Everything I do is effortless and fun. Kind of breathing in that one, and then I am relaxed and present in the things that I do. And then we're going to go down, and I like this. My coworkers show support towards the same goals. I think we're always on the same. Most of the time, I think we're always on the same page, Brittany.
Yes, I agree.
Affirmations on home. So repeating that first one that we said earlier, the universe is friendly, and I am supported in everything I do. I have a beautiful home. My home is up to date and comfortable for myself and others. My family and others I love our home. On relationships, I like the second one. I said the first one in another category, so some of these overlap. But the second one, I am true to myself, because that's probably one of the most important things we can do, regardless of the relationship with other people or relationships with ourselves.
I agree.
And I feel free to be myself in whatever circumstances, and the universe is friendly, and I am supported in everything I do. So again, these overlap a little bit. And I think that was the last one on that. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. And should be full screen again here with everybody. See if we have any comments. Anything, Brittany?
I don't see anything.
Okay.
Except Lovey said, hi from South Carolina. If you guys are on Crowdcast or even on Facebook, I guess, too, we'd love to see where you guys are from. That's always so fascinating to me, is seeing where everybody's from. I'm in Illinois and Brenda's in Missouri right now.
Our ProCare Health Office is located out of Lake St. Louis, Missouri. And Brittany and I are a little ways away from that, but we're within a couple hours. We're working remotely. And my screen is probably just a little bit blurry today. I'm working from a different location, so I hope you guys can see me okay. Okay, I am going to go into EFT. So if you've heard of EFT, raise your hand or let us know. I'm kind of curious to know if anybody's heard of EFT.
I have something funny I want to say real quick.
Okay.
When we first put these together, I looked at these handouts, and when, I don't know why, but I'd never heard of EFT, and when I read that, I thought it was the same, or I was thinking ESP.
Well, ESP could be also pretty dang helpful with changing habits, I would say.
So, no, I have never heard of EFT until I looked over the handouts, so I know now, but until recently I did not know, so.
Awesome. Well, let's get started then and see here. We can share. I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to go into the EFT handout. So this is something I made up here, and these are tapping points. Okay, so EFT, and I'm going to kind of make this smaller, is a way to help create balance in your body and retune the responses or the trigger points. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's a technique that creates harmony by tapping on specific points of the body's energy system, acupressure points or meridians, whatever you want to call them. And it's super simple to do. You don't have to be so specific on worrying where the points are. We do have a little simple chart here, and again, this is one of our handouts as well that Brittany shared earlier. But you can, and you don't have to go in a specific sequence. Sometimes you can probably go on to the internet, onto YouTube, and find all kinds of videos regarding EFT tapping, emotional freedom. There may be some techniques where they share where you do a certain point so many times, another point so many times, another point so many times. The general consensus with this is that you're basically just helping to drill into your subconscious mind and into these energy points, a new type of energy. Words are energy. So by doing these, by tapping, you're helping to create a new habit or a new thought form. And our habits are part of our thoughts. So that's what this is about. And so we're going to kind of practice some of this. So first of all, you become aware of the trigger of the body's response to it. And we talked about that in the first of these series. You know, what's happening whenever you're having a habit. So like, let's say you're eating late at night. Okay. And you want to create a new habit regarding eating late at night. You don't want to be snacking all night. So you could do something if you feel like it's more about feeling satisfied without cravings. You could just simply do an affirmation. You could use one of the affirmations if you feel like something resonates with you on that affirmation sheet that we gave you. Or you could just create your own little affirmation, like I am satisfied, for example. And so rate your feeling that you have with the number 2 is rate the feeling you have about the trigger on a scale 1 to 10. So it could be really strong. You know, if it's happening in the moment, it could be a 10. And then you just tap 3 to 4 times using a finger or thumb on a meridian point. And slow your breathing as you do this. So let's just kind of do this and say the intended affirmation as you tap, and then continually repeat the response until it's lessened or gone. So let's just try this. So basically, I'm gonna, Brittany, can you see me okay on the little small picture?
Yeah, I can.
On the screen?
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to say, though, is that for replay purposes, or if anyone's watching right now on Crowdcast, you might be having trouble seeing Brenda on your phone or a tablet. You can probably see okay, but your picture actually looks better.
Does it?
Yeah, I think it looks a little bit better.
I feel like maybe if I'm not moving so much, maybe it helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe if I'm back further. I think the internet here is just a little slower than the place I normally stream from, so.
But yeah, if you're on your phone, if you want to get on a tablet or a laptop, just something that has a bigger screen, you probably could see us a little bit better. I just wanted to say that.
And I'm going to go back here in a moment to those tapping spots, but I'm going to just kind of show some of them. I'm going to talk and kind of show a little bit here what I'm talking about. So you can take 2 fingers if you want, or 1 finger. So you could say like 2 of the tapping spots are like right here by the inner part of the eyebrows. There's 2 right here around the corners of the eyes. There's 1 right here, like right along the underside of the eye, right towards, not quite, just kind of down from the corner of your eyes. There's 1 right here under your nose. There's 1 right here under your chin. There's 2 right here under your clavicle bones. And I'm going to, I'll show you the picture once again, but right now we're just going to kind of show you what I'm kind of talking about, but about the affirmation. So say it's that you have, say that you're at night and you're thinking about food and you know that you're having some cravings and you want to feel better about your habits. So you're saying, I feel satisfied. Now, if you're not even quite there, like that doesn't even resonate with you, you could say, I know it's possible for me to feel more satisfied with eating less. Okay, so you could start there instead of saying I am satisfied. So I know it's possible for me to be able to feel satisfied with eating less. I know it's possible for me to feel satisfied with eating less. I know it's possible for me to feel satisfied with eating less. I know it's possible for me to feel satisfied with eating less. I know it's possible for me to feel satisfied with eating less. And you can do, again, there's right under the clavicles, I know it's possible for me to feel satisfied with eating less. You could use both your fingers and do them at the same time, you know, in each of these points, like this, as you're saying it. Kind of like that. And then you re-rate. So maybe I was a 10 before and now I'm a 6 or 7. And you could breathe a little bit. You could update your affirmation to make it more fully resonate with you. Maybe you say something like, I know that it's possible for me to change, and I know it's possible for me to feel healthier. That could be one. Mm-hmm. I know it's possible for me to eat less and feel good about my choices. I feel good about my choices. So you could have like a mixture of several different affirmations as you're saying these. Does that make sense, Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go back and I want to show the habit changers one more time, the handout. So I'm going to share my screen just for a second again. And I want to show these EFT points one more time. So there's 1 on top of the head. I didn't show that whenever I was doing the demonstration. There's 2 right here. Again, right the middle of the eyebrow. 2 at the corner of the eye, 2 under the eye. There's 1 under the nose. You could actually even do 2 if you wanted to. 1 under the chin, or you could do 2. And then down here under the collarbone. And there's a lot of other meridian points on the body. You know, the picture here shows 1 right here, the karate chop zone on the hand. You could Google meridians in the body because there's lots of different energy spots in the body where you can tap on to help release energy, to instill energy. But these are just some simple ones. I'm trying to make it super simple for people who may not be too familiar with this principle. So I'm going to stop sharing there. Any questions so far?
We don't have any. I just checked Facebook and I didn't see any on there either.
Awesome. Okay. So the next question, how can I replace a habit? Let me start answering. How can I replace a habit with a different and more beneficial one? How can you change a habit that you have and make it more beneficial? And here we're going to talk about maybe swapping. Okay, so like if you're smoking, chewing gum. Brittany, you and I kind of talked about this recently. Chewing gum or drinking water, or, finding something else that maybe kind of feels like, that's why sometimes like nicotine patches work for some people, or nicotine gum, that type of thing. But it also could be physical activity, like to try to help you not think about that activity, or some type of distraction. One of the things that we had talked about in the past is healthy food swaps. And so like, let's say you have a habit of going to junk food, okay? Replacing a certain type of food with another food. Let's say it's chocolate that you're wanting, and instead of eating chocolate, you eat sugar-free chocolate pudding, or a sugar-free chocolate bar. Eating something that seems a little healthier to you so that you feel better about your choice. We did a whole program. Brittany just posted the link on our Crowdcast channel. I'm sure it's probably come through on Facebook too, I'm sure. Here.
Yes.
And we did a whole program on food swaps, and I actually am going to pull up our handout from that and kind of share a few ideas on healthy food swaps. So here is the live that we did. You can go back and watch that. It was done April 21st. Healthy food swaps that say so good. But I'm going to go to our handout. Can you see this okay, Brittany? The healthy food swaps.
Yep.
Our guide, 30 plus food swap, saving you hundreds of calories. And
I am going to post where we did that food swap too. I went ahead and just posted the handout for anyone who wants to go back and look at that, but I will post the live event that went ahead with that too.
Awesome. Wonderful. So here's one, swap out mustard for mayo. And I am a big mayo fan. I love Miracle Whip. I don't know if that's really considered mayo.
See, I like both, but I feel like there's only certain cases where you have to use one or the other,
Yeah. So you could, 1 tablespoon of mayo can add 90 calories, but mustard, the calories is often close to 0. So that's 1, saving you almost 100 calories. Order a tall instead of a venti at Starbucks or wherever you choose to get your coffee on, and you can save calories that way. Here's one: go for cauliflower rice, and that's kind of become something that I love. Have you tried it yet, Brittany?
Oh my gosh! If you have not tried cauliflower rice, go try it, because it's honestly, I think it's all about how you cook it and how you season it. But what's so nice about cauliflower rice is it just soaks up whatever flavor you put into it. So to me, it's more flavorful than actual rice is. Wouldn't you agree?
I almost wonder, yes, I love it too. I'm almost wondering if you could make, like, how when you go to like a sushi restaurant and they make chicken fried rice, I'm almost wondering if you could make like a chicken fried rice with cauliflower rice. I'm sure you could, add some eggs and some peas and maybe some Worcestershire sauce. What else do they put in that?
Did you say
maybe
eggs already?
A little bit of oil. Yeah, eggs.
Yeah, I mean, but you can always use a healthier oil that has good fats in it, like avocado oil, or even olive oil is not that bad. Zach makes, my husband's name is Zach, for anyone who doesn't know, but he makes red beans and rice with cauliflower rice instead, and it's really good too.
Ooh, I never would have thought about that. That does sound good. Oh, yum. And then our next one here is make it open-faced. And this is one of my favorite things to do whenever I go to a restaurant that may, you're ordering something and it may not be necessarily the most, quote, healthy thing to eat. Sometimes, like, if I order a burger or something like that, or roast beef, for example, I'll just take away basically almost half the sandwich, the bread and maybe even some of the meat, and I just leave part of the sandwich, and you can cut your sandwich almost like in half. Especially, you know, if you've had weight loss surgery, a lot of times you can't eat a full sandwich anyways. You could save half of it for a later meal, you know. But that can save you, you know, 100 plus calories in itself. Spaghetti squash. I'm growing right now in my garden some spaghetti squash. I cannot wait to try it. So spaghetti squash resembles kind of like long stringy spaghetti like noodles. And to make it, you basically slice your squash in half and roast it face down in the oven until it's softened. And it's only 42 calories, while a cup of pasta is 239 calories. So and it kind of gives you some of the same flavors. So like if you have a habit of craving, you know, a lot of carbs, that's probably one of my hardest things. I don't know, what is one of your hardest?
Carbs for sure.
Yeah.
Carbs and well, we talked about ice cream last week too, which I'm sure probably has a lot of carbs too.
And we may even have one in here on ice cream. Didn't we have one?
I think we did. Bread and pasta is probably one of my favorite things to do, or to eat. But I also wanted to say spaghetti squash for pasta. I think we talked about this last time, but I can't remember if we did. Zucchini too. You can make I think they're called zoodles. It's zucchini noodles, and they taste just like pasta. And it's a lot less calories and carbs.
So do you put them through some type of food processor to do that?
So you can do it a couple different ways. You can do it through, like, you know how some food processors have attachments? So you could just push it down and it would make the longer noodles, essentially. Mm-hmm. Or what I do is I have a spiralizer. And I'll show you guys what that looks like too if anybody's curious. I just bought it off Amazon. It wasn't very expensive, but it just spiralized. And of course you're supposed to, well, I don't know if you really have to, but I take the skin off of my zucchini, so I just have like a potato peeler and I just peel it right off, and then it fits into the spiraler and it just makes my own noodles. And what's even nicer about these zucchini noodles is they don't take as long to cook as real pasta does. So you could really have the, you know, zucchini pasta dish together in like less than 10 minutes, depending on how many people you're cooking for, of course. But
do you boil it? Is that how you make it?
So I actually saute it with just a little bit of oil. And for like just a few minutes with the lid on, and I kind of like move it around so it doesn't get stuck to the pan, because there is a lot more water in it, obviously, so you have to, you know, coat your pan with something so it doesn't stick. But yeah, it only takes like, I would say 5 to 7 minutes depending on how many zucchinis you do.
That sounds so good. And right now is such a perfect time, you know, with all of the fresh vegetables out there, you know, with gardens being crazy, full of all this wonderful stuff. I picked over 300 tomatoes last night. So we need some tomato recipes too. It's like all of this good stuff right now is so plentiful.
Oh, you know? I love cherry tomatoes. Those are like my favorite snack.
Well, I wish we lived closer. I'd be sharing with you all kinds of stuff.
I know.
I'm going to look and see. We'll share a couple more here, and then we'll move on to our next thing. Let's see. I'm going to kind of look and see. We have wrap it with lettuce or collard greens. We have mango for brown sugar, so using that as a glaze instead of other things.
Oh, mangoes are so good too.
Banana ice cream. Now, we talked about this, making banana ice cream. You know, there is a maker on Amazon. I can't remember the name of it. Didn't we talk about this the last time whenever we had
Yes. Where you just put fresh fruit into it and it comes out as ice cream. Yes.
Yes.
I'll find that too.
So those are all good things, especially since we were talking about the ice cream. And I'm going to go down and I'm just going to peek and see if I can find something with chocolate, because we were talking about chocolate.
it's a really long link, but it's $30, the spiralizer, and you get 10 different blades. So you can make it really thick pasta if you want. You can make it super skinny like angel hair. There's all kinds of cool stuff in there. And you don't have to make it just, I mean, you can use it to chop up your vegetables, onions, anything.
So that is for, what you're talking about is for the pasta.
Yes.
To make like a zucchini or whatever.
For the zoodles.
The zoodles. And then we have here salted caramel frappe protein version. So I kind of just skimmed through these. There's probably a chocolate recipe somewhere along the line other than just this. But, you know, you can get your protein in it and add a chocolate protein shake with sugar-free caramel syrup to your coffee, or top it with a little bit of whipped cream, or make it into even a shake with ice, you know, into a blender, and pump it up with a little bit of extra flavorings and stuff to make it extra special. So that is another way to get to, if you're craving chocolate and you're wanting something a little healthier.
Hi, Miss Deborah. She waved, so I thought I'd say hi to her.
Oh, hello. So glad you're here with us. And if you have any ideas too, anybody that's joining us that you want to share with other people of habit changers, something that's helped you, please share. Please let us know. So I'm going to press done answering on that one. And I had just talked about healthy food swaps. We shared a link on our Crowdcast and on our Facebook pages. So we also have it on our ProCare Health website, because ProCare Health is our sponsor. I'm press done answering on that. So the very next thing we're going to actually talk about is once you know your triggers, and we talked about this in part 1, you can disrupt the cycle. So if you're aware of what's going on, you can disrupt it. The cycle of being a trigger, eating, and then a reward. So rewards are the big part of why we do things, okay? And so replacing eating with an activity that supports your goals. The below habits boost neurotransmitters like serotonin, GABA, oxytocin, which calms down the stress response and induces a feeling of well-being. So again, what we're wanting to do with all of these things is disrupt a cycle of a trigger, if your habit is eating related, and then disrupting that there being a response of a reward that you're wanting. So that's, and Brittany, I know you had asked a question. What is your question?
So I wanted to ask this question in case somebody might not know what GABA is. So what is GABA?
So let's see here. I'm going to go back. So GABA stands for gamma amino butyric acid. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But it's a naturally occurring amino acid. Okay, so a protein that works as a neurotransmitter in your brain. And neurotransmitters function as chemical messengers. And GABA is considered an inhibitory neurotransmitter because it blocks or inhibits certain brain signals and decreases activity in your nervous system. When GABA attaches to a protein in your brain, such as the GABA receptor, it produces a calming effect. And this can help with feelings of anxiety, stress, fear. It can also help prevent seizures. But what we're interested in here now is it's helping to break that cycle. What we were talking about, disrupting the cycle of trigger, eat, reward. Trigger, eat, reward.
And that would make sense, too, why somebody would get, they feel anxious or stressed out or even fear, like you said, and they they reach for a specific kind of food because it gives them, it gives them that fear or that feeling of feeling better because of the GABA, right?
Yeah, and I think too, what you're doing is by changing. So we just recently talked about the healthy food swaps, but we're also going to talk about feel-good habits that can support change. So something that disrupts that cycle, cycle that we're talking about. Let me kind of be done answering that. And so by feel-good habits, meaning what are feel-good habits that support habit changes? So what are things that are, I'm going to call them distractions. There are things that you can do to break that cycle and start doing something else. Okay? And to do that, there's things such as, I have a list of about 10 of them. So exercising and or playing sports. So let's say in the evening time you have a habit of, again, we'll go back to, maybe nighttime eating or snacking endlessly or mindlessly. Maybe just getting up and doing some kind of physical activity, or maybe just finding yourself where you're scheduling time outside to do some type of physical activity, or scheduling time with your family to do some kind of physical activity. Another one is reading. If you're reading something I'd like to read stuff that's inspirational, but a lot of you may have other types of likes, something that you enjoy reading that's just for fun. Listening to music, that can be kind of a fun distraction. Prayer or having a spiritual practice can definitely be, another one of those. And I mentioned before spending time with family and friends, because that is definitely a way to feel good and also help distract you from a habit that may be persistent. To me, one of the biggest things you can do is distance yourself from the habit. And I mean, basically just to be able to stop doing it. So distancing yourself in your environment, distancing yourself, if it's foods that you like to eat, keeping them out of your house. All of these things are kind of keeping you distracted. And when you're away from something for a period of time, it no longer is so present in your brain. Another thing would be getting a massage, walking outside, meditation, some yoga, some creative hobbies, maybe painting or writing. We talked about chewing gum, or studying something that you're interested in that kind of helps you think about something other than eating or whatever it is that the habit. So I'm gonna press answering that. Oh, Miss Deborah says, hello, nice to be a part. We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
And let's see. Okay. And we have, it looks like
2, 3.
Some people on Facebook. Hello if you're on Facebook joining us.
Hi.
And the next one, how can we use reminders to support a habit change? So reminders. And with reminders here, what we're really looking at is visual or audio. So it could be kind of a phone reminder that pops up on your phone. You can set those depending on different apps that are available. Sticky notes, so you can put a sticky note on your refrigerator or your mirror or even your computer.
I know someone that sticks them on their car dashboard.
Oh, that's a great way.
I mean, if you have a long commute, yeah,
it's just something to kind of help you think of something that's a little different from the norm. I just had a funny thought too. My sister owns a car wash. Her and her husband, they own some car washes, and people who go through car washes have these bumper stickers that fall off. They're like the magnetic ones, so they have like this big supply of like 50 bumper stickers. And when I'm not watching, they're putting them on me and Madison's cars constantly. So right now I love my cat, And kindness is you should be kind, or something like that, on the back of my car. My son the other day said, Mom, he said, you look like a crazy cat lady. Because I have an orange Jeep, which is already kind of extraordinary. And he's like, then you have that stupid sticker on the back of your car. And I'm like, I know. I said, I can't take it off because it makes me laugh. It makes me...
Yeah.
I don't care if other people think I'm stupid.
It probably makes other people laugh, too. Oh, Lovey said, I have a sticky note on the fridge that says, stomach, you're not hungry, you're bored.
Oh.
Yeah. I heard of people doing that, too.
That's a good reminder.
Uh-huh.
Great reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll put that. And that's probably one of the main reasons that we eat.
Boredom.
Mindless eating.
Mm-hmm.
It can be boredom. So that's a great way to kind of remind yourself. We going to say something?
Yeah, I was especially working from home. I struggled a little bit because it's just, you're sitting at home and you have all of these snacks and stuff in the fridge, and it's like, it's there, and then, I don't know, it's like whenever you need a little break, you find yourself in the kitchen, and it's like, am I really hungry, or am I thirsty, or am I just, do I need a little break, It's just, I thought it was funny. It's kind of, it's a little difficult, but it's getting easier for me.
I do the same thing, Brittany. But I don't know that it was so different when I was at an office setting, because I had, in my mind, I kind of programmed myself. I'd have breakfast, and then about 10 o'clock, I'd be like, kind of getting hungry. I need a snack. So I always have snacks at my desk. And then so it was like programming myself at different times of the day to think I'm hungry whenever I may not even be hungry, but it became a habit of eating at certain times of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree, too.
Okay, so the next one here, how can we prepare for slip-ups when our old habits start resurfacing? That's a good question. I think enlisting support can be super helpful. So support of maybe family, friends, counselors, or even like this, kind of getting this live that we're doing today, even listening to things like this, podcast or audios or reading or whatever, that kind of helps bring in others' influence. And Brittany, I think you have a little bit to say about this too, don't you?
Yeah. So in the beginning at part 1, last week when we talked about this, I think we even talked about that some people can be triggers too, and not just a behavior that you have already. It's certain people that you're around can kind of trigger habits that maybe you're good and maybe they're not so good. Mm-hmm. So I have a friend, actually, and I don't know what it is, but anytime I'm around her and I have something that I've been meaning, or I've been putting off, trying to do, she just always motivates me to get it done, and I don't know what it is, like just being around her makes me want to do and get more things done. So that's a good habit, but then maybe you have somebody who maybe doesn't make great choices as far as eating, or maybe, you're a social smoker and you want to smoke whenever you're around them. I think it's just helpful that you recognize that it's not just places or things or feelings. It can be people too, and it's a good idea to take advantage of that and enlist someone to help break a certain habit with you. If you both are having a bad habit, see if they'll do it with you. It's always easier when you have a support system. And I feel like people can be a reminder to change or support a change too. So I just wanted to say that.
Yes, and I love that we are currently, and we've mentioned it before in some of our lives, but we at ProCare Health, Nick, who is the owner of ProCare Health, he has sponsored us to our whole office to have a fitness kind of challenge. And we have Amy Posados, who is a fitness coach. She's not only a fitness trainer, but she's also a physical therapist. So she has all kinds of knowledge, and she is actually helping our entire team, ProCare team, with becoming healthier. And so we've started doing weekly lives with her, and it's just been really fun because not only do we have her support that we're talking about affecting a habit change, but we have each other because we're all doing it together as a work group, which has been really fun. And we're going to bring Amy on, and she's going to do a 3-part series here coming up.
You guys are going to love her.
Fitness. Oh, she's just really, like you said, she's one of those people who motivates you to do something that you normally wouldn't do. I can hear a little voice inside my head, drink water.
I know. Did you see me when you brought her up? My posture went like this.
I know, she's teaching us how to sit straighter. I've done it a couple times already on the call.
And I do have my water right here.
Yes. Let me see. Hold it up, Brittany. So we're doing this together. We're doing it together, and it's just having another person helping you can really help whenever you're finding that the patterns are resurfacing and you need a little extra support. Let's see. So, how can others? We kind of talked about this. How can others influence our habit change? And so we basically answered that, but since I had it in our queue of questions, what I'm going to just say is someone who's like-minded may also help you with changing something that's maybe a little harder for you. You just being near them, being around them can positively help you get into the right mindset, into the right space to make that change when it's not as easy as it should have been. Sure, I mean, I could have went online and read about fitness. I could have read about how to sit properly, do zero
gravity sleeping position.
Sleeping. I could have read or watched a video on water, how much I'm supposed to drink. But having somebody else with me and talking about it and influencing me that way can be super helpful. So I'm going to done answering that one. And the next one here we have is, how does what I've done in the past help to change where I'm going in the future? And I think sometimes the main goal is always to just kind of live in the moment, because you hear that all the time, live in the moment and just do what comes naturally. We can pull little tidbits. Sorry about all my little pop-ups. We can pull little tidbits from the past to influence our future as well. And what I'm going to say about this is, let me pull up my little note here, is remember what you've combated in the past. Remember, it's possible for you to overcome negativity and change your focus. Being honest with yourself is probably one of the most important factors in changing and exploring your habits with openness and curiosity. The change is for you, and be kind and work with yourself instead of against yourself. Remembering what you've done in the past can be so helpful. I can remember, when with a weight loss journey, I had the sleeve gastrectomy back in 2013, and going through that journey, you think, like, even now, sometimes I kind of get a little hard on myself, and I have to go back and remember, what? You lost weight with that. You did well. I remember where I was before and where I am now, and there is a big difference. And I have to remember that and say, what? You were successful with doing something, doing something that helped you feel better. And so just kind of recognizing that, or maybe it's with your work. Maybe sometimes we become hard on ourselves and we think, I should be further than where I am now. I should be doing this, this, and this. And just kind of remembering that you have came far. You have done X, Y, Z. You have, not everything that you've done has been bad. You've accomplished some things. And so remembering that helps just kind of bring you to a new level of confidence in yourself and helps promote that for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our 6. And so I'm going to let me go back here, and I'm going to do done answering on our questions so that people who are logging in later can look at the replay and the timestamps for those Ask a Questions. And I'm going to just do a little summary here on the 6 different things that we talked about and the handouts that we had. So the very first thing, just in case somebody's joining new, the very first thing we talked about is using affirmations for mindfulness and intention to create new habits. And we have an affirmations handout. You can also use those with EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, and we have a handout for that as well. And the emotional freedom technique helps create more harmony in your body by using your body's energy system and redirecting the energy into kind of a new direction, we'll say. And so that you can feel better about what you're doing, kind of breaking that cycle of the habit. So that's the first thing. The second thing is replacing a habit with a more beneficial habit. And we had a handout for that too, a healthy food swap guide. And we also had done a previous live topic on that. And we are giving you the link on our different forums here. So we have a link if you want to go back and watch that one, the healthy food swaps. The next thing we have here is number 3 is reminders that support the change. So you can use sticky notes, phone reminders, something on your refrigerator, your mirror, or your car dash, something that supports a change. Number 4, prepare for slip-ups. So, let go of the all or nothing mindset. Let go of having to have something happen immediately, and prepare yourself for a progress in what you're doing, and showing up for yourself. Consistency is what's so important here. So when we see that things start resurfacing, we can, number 5, enlist the support of help, whether it's a coach, a friend, a family member, maybe even a counselor, a support group like this one, or maybe some type of inspirational reading material, podcast, something like that. And number 6, remember how far you've come. Remember, you know what, you've done this. You can do this again, and it's all okay. Everything is well. So that's what I have so far. And
I say we just got a comment. I don't know if you want to read it.
Yeah. Okay, it says, it's amazing. This is Miss Deborah. It's amazing you said that because I had surgery 2019. I've had a lot of times like I'm hard on myself. I feel like my weight is staying the same at 217 and I'm not reaching my 100. So thank you for the encouragement. I still work hard on maintaining my diet and exercise. Yes, do not give up. You know what? This is a journey. Feel good where you are, but know that it is possible to make changes, make small changes, and just kind of keep checking to see if you see progress. Expect progress. Encourage yourself often as much as you can, and know that sometimes things change slowly and sometimes things change rapidly. But in the meantime, kind of enjoy where you are as much as you can. Because you have made progress. It sounds like that you've made some steps to get where you are now, and remembering that can sometimes be really important.
And don't be so hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Any other comments? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, we're glad you're here. We encourage each other. So I don't have anything else, Brittany. I'm probably
I don't see anything. I would say I don't see anything on Facebook either. So, but yeah, if you guys have any questions after the fact, as always, reach out to us. That's what we're here for.
And I also want to share. We have a couple things I want to share here real quickly. I'm going to share our ProCare Health channel that you guys, if you want to become a follower of us, you can follow us on our ProCare Health channel, and that will allow you to see when you'll get a notification by email that our next live or not next lives are starting, and that usually is sent about 10 minutes before. I'll send that. And then, Brittany, if you want to share about our sponsor, we have about 2 minutes to do that.
I will. I just want to get to our homepage first before
ProCare Health.
All right. Can you see the homepage here?
Yes.
Okay. So this is our website. ProCare Health is the sponsor for all these weekly lives that we do. And I just kind of like to go over some products and kind of show you guys what the website looks like in case we have anybody new here. So ProCare Health was actually the first bariatric vitamin company to create a once daily formula. So that is what we're kind of known for. We do have some other products that we've expanded on, though. We, of course, have the once daily capsule here, and we have a chewable formula as well. Both the capsule and the chewable come in 3 different levels of iron, too. So we have 45 milligrams, 18 milligrams, and we also have iron-free, too, for people who may not need that. And then as far as the chewables go, we only have 1 iron level for the citrus flavor, actually. But Fruit Punch comes in all 3. So, and then we also have something that's really unique that I want to share with you guys that no other company out there has, which is pretty cool. We have a bariatric multivitamin that's specifically made for moms-to-be or people who are trying. We are the only one that has a prenatal on the market currently, so that's kind of a really unique product that some people ask about. I will say that with the prenatals and our probiotic formulas, those are actually twice a day instead of once a day, but it's still only two a day, and you can either take that twice at one time, or you can break it up, take one in the morning, take one in the night, whatever you want to do. And then, of course, we have some calcium products for you guys, too. We have our calcium chews, calcium soft chews. They come in 3 different flavors. Brenda's favorite flavor is the sea salted caramel here, and my personal favorite is the cinnamon roll. I know a few people like the Dinnerman as well. And then we also offer a variety pack if you can't decide or you like them all and you just want to get them all. I'm also going to put in this link for a free sample in case anyone would like to try our products before you buy it. So I will say if you have a specific flavor of calcium chew or even a chewable probably too, you could put what flavor you would like specifically in this message box down here, and they will make sure that they get that to you in your sample box that you get. Oh, and I wanted to show you where the handouts are real quick in case people are watching this after the fact and maybe they don't have access to the handouts. But if you go to this About Us button and you click the arrow down here and you click Support Group Handouts, this is where, look, there we are. This is where you can find all of the support groups that we've done, and the most recent ones are usually down here at the bottom. So the one that we did just today, all 3 of those are listed here for you guys. And then if you watch the replays, all of the other ones will be listed on here as well. And we also have a resources page. We have a bunch of blogs and a bunch of good free resources out there for you guys. So I wanted to share that with you. And yeah, I think that's everything. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and let Brenda close it out.
Okay, we have just a few seconds. So I'm going to just say thank you to everybody. We love you and we appreciate you being here with us. And until we see you for our next live, which is next week with Katie Chapman on protein, we want to say goodbye and have a wonderful, amazing week.
All right.
Okay.
Everybody, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.